I'm curious, what are you most excited about right now? Like, what are you most jazzed out about in what you're doing?
I think for me, I started my podcast, which you are going to be a part of that as well. But it's called the Kara Goldin Show, and I'm interviewing amazing CEOs and leaders. It's interesting hearing about or some of your questions that you were asking in terms of the focus. I when I first started the podcast 8 years ago now, I was really focusing on female entrepreneurs and female founders, and some of them were CEOs, some of them weren't CEOs. And what I realized, I mean, it was great to start somewhere, but what I realized over time is, for example, there's incredible men that are also founders as well, that have a lot of incredible viewpoints, that I felt like I was confusing the consumer, because while they wanted to hear from women, the core thing that they wanted to hear was from people who were building businesses and founders who were disrupting. And so what I get most excited about is that I hear over and over again from so many people that I'm interviewing, I've never been asked that question before. And so if I can actually bring content to people from amazing, smart people who are typically founders, most of the time they're leading these companies, and I'm asking them questions about building businesses. When did you think this company was going to go under? How do you think about competition? How do you build boards? How do you raise money? Things that I think are operator type of questions. That's what gets me most excited, because I feel like if I can actually help people beyond helping them get healthier, if I can help them know that they're not alone, that they can actually go out and challenge the status quo. They don't have to have worked for, Coca-Cola or Pepsi if they're going to go start a beverage company. They can actually, it ends up that most of the most amazing founding stories and companies out there are from somebody who just had an idea that had a lot of tenacity and resilience and decided that they were just going to go for it. So that's really what I'm super excited about now. And I'm incubating some other companies too that I'm not quite ready to talk about, but it's a lot of fun.
I got to say too, though, I have enjoyed a lot of your conversations with female founders. There is a woman I've been following for a couple years now since you interviewed her. She has a company called Belgian Boys Pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! So I have discovered some cool founders from your show. I will say that, but I can say as well, I think also part of the game is it's not just helping people, but it's also keeping yourself engaged too, if that makes sense. Because I know even for me, like, what I've wanted to talk about, what I've wanted to discuss has shifted over the years too. So like even now we have two shows. We have the Command Your Brand show where we talk about business and branding and things I really want to go deep on. But then, my main show has changed from Create Your Own Life to the Jeremy Ryan Slate show, where now we just talk about culture and politics and families. And so I think as well, you want to help people, but you also want to like keep yourself engaged. I think it's part of the game,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, when you start to see, I mean, this kind of goes full circle back to what we were talking about initially. Like, as you start to just do, right? You start somewhere, and as you start to learn about your audience and learn about maybe the segments of problems that you're solving for them, or the discussions that are most relevant where people, are not getting that information anywhere else, then I think that's where you're allowed to go and branch out. 2 shows, 2 different brands. And I think there's decisions to be made too, that you have to figure out, was I right or wasn't I right?